Hey, this is Gavin, and I'll do a gentle unloading with something I think people ought to be able to handle. So, there are some very simple ways that we miss the mark. To miss the mark is hamartia in Greek, is to sin. And so it's pretty easy. Like, hey, let's not murder people, let's not steal, let's not do sexual immorality, and let's not torture animals. All right. So a lot of us we know not to do those things, but just because you're avoiding doing the things for which there should be law for all people, like it does not mean that we are without sin. And so I just want to talk about some very simple sins, which I'm working on, which I would encourage you to work on as well. And so the one sin that many people will do is say that they will commit to doing something and then fail to do it. And this is a sin. Now, when I was young, I was accused of this, and so then I retreated into saying maybe. I became someone who never committed to anything. And then I was accused of being someone who never committed to anything, which is like these are ways we can miss the mark. So you can commit to things and then fail in your commitments, which I work on that even now. And then you can avoid committing to anything, and that would be a sin as well if you never commit to anything. And so where I've gotten to is I try to practice when I commit to something, I try to write down a note for myself that I made a commitment. I also try to be clear and seek clarity about what I committed to, what are the expectations, so that there can be an agreement, a clarity regarding the agreement on the thing in which there was a commitment. And then there can even be clarity on the outcomes and the artifacts. So we commit to something, and as a result, there will be a next step, and eventually the commitment is complete, and there is no other next step. It's like, this is good to be able to do this. This is one example of how we can. It's an example of a sin, a kind of minor sin, which I think we could all work on. And if we did, people who, a lot of people will say that we are trying to glorify God, but then we commit to something and then we fail in our commitments. So we sin, we miss the mark. And it would be better for us, that's my claim, correct me if I'm wrong, it would be better if we became people who attempted to pray before we commit, and then feel good about our commitment, and then follow through with our commitment. That would be the truth, the life, and the way, right? This is the way to be, the true way to be, and the right life to live, and the narrow path. And this is just one example. And there's probably an infinite number of examples in which we can miss the mark in many directions. And this is just one example. Let's try to be very careful about how we commit to things. All right. Hope you all have a good one. Thank you.